everyone, I'm Hope Frugier. I'm the Eat Fit Monroe dietitian, and I'm here to show you how to make crispy sweet potato with chimichurri and dukkah. It's an easy recipe. It sounds a little exotic and foreign, but once you see all the ingredients, you'll recognize all of them. This recipe is inspired by a local restaurant, Parish Restaurant. My husband and I eat there all the time, and we love an appetizer on their menu that's a crispy sweet potato, very similar to this, and we decided let's recreate it at home. So we're going to be starting to roll out recipes every week that you can follow along with. Hopefully you'll be making it in your own kitchens, and when you do, hashtag us at EatFitDIY. So let's get started. We've got 2 sweet potatoes, and I've already started slicing one of them up. You can use a mandolin to do this, but it's actually, in my case, it's easier to use a knife. I've almost cut myself on a mandolin before, so I try to use a knife when I can. What you want to do is cut the ends off of your 2 sweet potatoes first to create a flat surface, and that makes it even safer to cut. You're going to be cutting these sweet potatoes in about 1/4 inch slice all the way down, so I'll show you how to do that. Very carefully with a sharp knife, you're going to go all the way down. And it's important to have a sharp knife and keep your knife sharp because you actually reduce the likelihood of cutting yourself with a sharper knife. I know it sounds a little counterintuitive. So slice all the way down with those sweet potatoes, and then what we're going to do is throw them onto a pan and put a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper on them. So I've done that, and I actually have some already roasting in the oven. What you want to do is get a basting brush with some olive oil, and on both sides just very lightly oil your sweet potato slices. And once you get the oil on, we are going to salt and pepper both sides. I really love using fresh cracked pepper in my kitchen. It actually helps us absorb nutrients. So this McCormick spice blend is really helpful. It comes with a grinder, and you can change up the size of your grind from coarse to very fine. And we've got pepper. Now we're going to go on with some salt. Sprinkle just a little bit of salt on each slice. And we would flip these over and do the same on the other side. But with the magic of TV, we've already got some going in the oven, and they're nice and roasted. Voila! So these are our sweet potato slices that have been roasted at an oven, 425. You want to make sure that you turn the oven on before you get started. Next up, we are going to talk about chimichurri. Now, chimichurri is a very herby, garlicky sauce. It's an Argentinian sauce that they use in their culture. And you can use pretty much any herbs you have on hand. Maybe some of you are growing herbs in your garden this time of year. Is a perfect time to do that. We have several different herbs, and 2 of my favorites are cilantro and parsley. So this is more of a traditional take on a chimichurri, but you could also do basil, you could throw in thyme, you could even do a little sage in there. The more herbs, the better. We're gonna go in with 2 garlic cloves. Garlic is very, very healthy for us. It's good for our gut bacteria. So this is a really healthy and flavorful dish. Next up, we're gonna go in with 2 tablespoons of lemon. So I'm just gonna squeeze some fresh lemon in here. About 2 large wedges of that will be nearly 2 tablespoons. I like to estimate when I'm cooking. You know, I will reference recipes, but when I'm making something, I definitely taste it as I'm going. So we've got our lemon juice, our garlic, we have our herbs, and I had already added olive oil to this. Next up, we are throwing in some red wine vinegar and more cracked pepper, as well as about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. In goes the salt. And we're gonna blend this together. You can use a food processor or a blender. I really love this Ninja blender because it enables me to make smoothies, single serve, or just a quick whirl, and I have chimichurri. So we have our chimichurri, we've roasted our sweet potatoes. finally, we are going to make our Dukkah spice blend. And that is an Egyptian spice blend that has roasted nuts, herbs, and spices. It adds a lot of flavor and packs a big punch. And again, the more herbs, spices, if they're fresher, even better, that you have, the more antioxidants you're getting into with the dish. And the antioxidants that you consume help us to stay well. So you want to think about consuming the rainbow when it comes to eating food. The more colors you have, the better. Okay, so what I want to show you, because I've already blended our spices together and have that finished product, but I'll just show you what goes in that. We have 3 tablespoons of sesame seeds, which you probably have in your pantry. We have 1 teaspoon of cumin and a tablespoon of coriander. That's freshly ground. If you have whole spices and they aren't ground already, you would up that by a factor of 3. So 1 tablespoon would become 3 tablespoons if you had coriander seeds. If you had cumin and it wasn't already ground, 1 teaspoon would become 1 tablespoon. So a quick conversion factor. In this would also go half a cup of nuts that we've dry roasted as well. So the sesame seeds and the nuts can go on 1 pan in the oven at 350. Shake it every couple of minutes until you smell it getting very aromatic. You can also do that on a stove top by just shaking a pan, and it'll turn those nuts and seeds. It can burn pretty quickly. You want to do that over medium heat, but you'll smell it, and that's when you know that the oils have released and it's time to pull them. So we have pistachios and hazelnuts. You can use any nut in this. You could do walnuts, you could do peanuts or almonds. We chose to do hazelnuts and pistachios. So this would go into a blender, as well as our sesame seeds, coriander, and our cumin, and we have a little bit of fresh mint. You can also use dried mint if you have that on hand. All of this plus a teaspoon of salt, which I keep in my salt well, and because this is dirty and I don't have another one, we'll edit that out later. I'm just going to show you the end result. This is what it looks like, and I wish that there was smell-o-vision like there used to be on Nickelodeon, where you had the card and you sniffed it and smelled, because it smells amazing. What we will do last is put it all together. So I've got a platter, got a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. That's how cooking in the kitchen goes. You're not having a good time if you don't make a mess in the kitchen while you're cooking at home. So we've got Greek yogurt, half a cup of Greek yogurt, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. And how I like to do this is start on your platter with a dollop and then just spread it all the way down. It makes a really beautiful presentation, and I want to make sure that this goes all the way down so that every little sweet potato wedge gets a little bit. Next, we will pour a little bit of the chimichurri and sprinkle some of that spice blend down the line. And I like to get it around the edge of the plate too, so that you can take your bite and soak it up. And then with our chimichurri, we're gonna reach in here and we're gonna sprinkle some chimichurri, or rather drip it all the way down and around, and layer our sweet potato on last, so that when you finish, it is very colorful and beautiful. You could even top this with some fresh herbs to finish. This is a great appetizer to share with your family. If you're like me, I could eat this for dinner and that would be enough for me. Probably wouldn't work for those of you who are big carnivores, but I love meals like this that are simple and flavorful and fresh. So, ways that you can connect with us. Hashtag EatFitDIY when you make this recipe. Look for new recipes every single Wednesday. We'll be rolling out, Eat Fit Monroe will be rolling out with a new recipe. In our other regions, Eat Fit Baton Rouge, otherwise known as Eat Fit BR, Eat Fit Acadiana, Eat Fit North Shore, Eat Fit NOLA, and Eat Fit Shreveport all have recipes coming out as well. So tune into their recipes and download our app as well, Ochsner Eat Fit. In the App Store or the Google Play Store, you can find hundreds of recipes just like this one, and we hope that you enjoy your crispy sweet potato with chimichurri and dukkah.